Hi, this is Chi Brave, and welcome to another episode of Brave Inspirations PH. Today, our topic is on dream visits from our deceased loved ones. How do we know if it's a dream visit from our loved ones or just a random dream? Because in some cases, we see the presence of our loved ones or friends who have passed on in our dream, but that does not automatically mean that they are visiting us or trying to convey a message to us in our dream. It's just that they've become their presence become um, a symbolism of a scenario of a situation that we need to tackle in our waking moments. But we're going to do a separate video on dreams and how to interpret your own dreams. So for now, I'm going to give you at least three signs to determine if it's a dream visit based on my experience. So my first sign is that detached stare. Detached. So what do I mean by detached? Um, for example, when I dreamt of my mom, months after, not even months, years, hindi naman siya nagparamdam talaga sa akin when she passed on. So, umabot siya ng years, after a couple of years, maybe or less, tsaka ako siya napanaginipan. So, in that dream, she was looking at me, pero yung stare na yon, it's like she knows me, or rather, she's familiar with me, but she really doesn't know me. Okay? Diba, sometimes we meet someone na parang we know from somewhere, and yet we couldn't recall where and even what their name is. Something like that, that kind of stare. So, several times that I would dream of um, people that I know of, they would give me that kind of stare. Another relative of mine gave me that kind of stare. Okay, na parang yun nga, I know you but I don't know where we met, something like that. My opinion is that because they have already crossed over, so your relationship with them has already changed as far as they are concerned. You see, because tayo, we're still living on this physical plane, we still carry that attachment to them, okay, to our relatives who have passed on. So, for example, our parents pa rin natin sila. That's how we feel about them. They're still our parents. But for them, over there, wala nang ganong klaseng attachment. When they passed on, wala na rin yung ganong konsepto ng attachment. Kasi dito lang naman yan sa physical plane, yung attachment na yan. Now, please take note that this kind of dream visits, okay, took place mga ano na uh, after a year or so na nawala sila. Kaya parang ganun yung situation yun sa detached stare. Okay? Another sign, the next sign would be there's an identifier. What do I mean by identifier? For example, there are objects or situations or places that would help you identify na it's really them. Okay? it's like associated with them, those objects, places, situations. For example, with my mom, when she would visit me, okay, she would visit me, um, in that dream, she would carry an umbrella, or mm, yung hairstyle niya, or yung accessories na gamit niya, na kanya-kanya lang yon. Okay? Meron naman, for example, yung sa relatives, for example, yung relative na yon is fond of wearing shawl. So, doon sa dream na yon, meron ding shawl. Or kung situations naman, for example, mahilig siya maglaro ng basketball. So, possible mayroong dun sa situation na nandoon siya, mayroong basketball court, or meron siyang hawak na bola ng basketball. So, yun yung identifier. Another situation na I can give you as an example, when I dreamt of my boss, this boss of mine, we were very close, but when he died, he wasn't able, I didn't know na he passed on already. It was only through common friends that I came to know that he passed on, because he was really sick. I don't know, but he was sick. He was in a wheelchair na, he couldn't get up, he couldn't walk. So anyway, when I learned that he passed on, I was really crying, and I was, saying or telling him that he left without saying goodbye. So I was really heartbroken that time. So that night, or I think the next day, um, he visited me in my dream. It was only like 2 weeks after his death. Okay? So he visited me in that dream. In the dream, the scenario was, we were walking in this, parang in this place. Tapos there's a threshold, or an entrance of sort. It's like an arch-like entrance. Pero maliwanag pa dun sa paglalakad namin. But after yung entrance na yon, medyo madilim na, and the ground was like parang wet. Tapos meron lang lights na nag-illuminate doon sa place. Pero it's still dark, except for that light na hindi ko naman nakikita kung ano yung source. Pero it's like parang ang quality niya parang dim na fluorescent light, parang ganon yung ilaw niya, parang lamppost na white, ganon yung illumination ng light. So, ang nakikita ko lang, may mga tao din na naglalakad, and they were like leisurely walking towards kung saan man yung direction ng light na yon. Pero other than that, I don't see anything. But we stopped dun sa may entrance. It's as if I should not, or I'm not supposed to, to cross, to enter that doorway. Okay? So, doon sa entrance na yon, we talked a bit, and he joked. Yeah, it was a familiar joke, okay? And then he said goodbye, just said goodbye. He even said, "Don't cry, because you're making me feel that you're really sad about my passing," something like that. So it's really him. So that's also my identifier, because he when he was alive, he always would tell jokes. He's quite funny and all that. So that's how he was. That's his personality. So in that dream, he showed his personality. But anyway, so it's kinda, kaya yung dream na yon, ang purpose nun is just to say goodbye, para magbigay ng closure. Okay? Now, the question would be, bakit hindi detached stare, diba? Sabi ko, isang sign, detached stare. It's because, my opinion again, kakamatay pa lang niya. So, yung attachment nandoon pa, attachment sa material plane. So, siguro hindi pa naman siya talaga, yung spirit niya, hindi pa talaga nag-evolve. So, yun. Magde-detach pa lang. So, kaya nakapag-usap kami. And, I don't recall anymore kung he was directly looking at me. I didn't see his eyes, but I know he was facing me directly and we were talking. And we were talking, tapos magkalapit talaga kaming ganon. But I don't think he was, really looking at me straight in the eye. Yeah, I don't remember na he's looking at me. But anyway, it's not a detached stare because kakamatay pa lang niya. Okay, that's my opinion. Okay. Yung isa pang sign, yung third sign ay, aside from the identifier, diba? Did I mention about my mom, yung isang identifier niya sa akin when he made her first visit was, she was holding an umbrella. Why umbrella? Because my mom, ayaw na naiinitan eh. Lagi yung may dalang umbrella. In fact, 2 nights ago, I got another dream visit from her. Yun pa rin yung symbolism, umbrella na naman. At yung umbrella na yun yung umbrella na alam ko, I remember na gamit niya nung nabubuhay pa siya. It was color blue, and color blue. Hindi siya folding, yung parang parasol type na umbrella. And yung yung isang may suksukan yun sa gilid, diba? Yung isa nakatanggal, and that's really how her umbrella was. Nakatanggal minsan, and kakabit mong ganun. Excuse me. Yung mga pegs dun sa side, kakabit mo. So that's her umbrella. And I knew it was a dream visit from her. Kaya lang, excuse me, kaya lang, dinadecipher ko pa kung ano yung talagang message niya sa akin. Because it's quite, parang cryptic pa yung, yung dream. But I know that it was really a dream visit from her because of that identifier, which is umbrella. Because when she was still alive, ayaw nga niya nainitan. Lagi siya may dalang umbrella kahit small distance lang naka-umbrella siya. Okay? She's really an umbrella person. Okay. And I also had another visit from her na, ayun, it was a symbolic dream. Mayroong rubber sandals, and she's also a sandals person. Yeah, I think I know what the dream meant, pero anyway, so moving forward, so yun nga, identifier. Kung may identifier yung dream na mag-identify or associated sa kanila, then most probably, in my opinion, it is a dream visit. Okay. Yung last kong isa-cite na sign ay yung vacuum voice. Ano yung vacuum voice? Nararanasan ko yan, pero hindi na during okay. Pag kasi, kunwari, nandun sila sa dream ko, pero wala nang masyadong nagaganap doon sa dream. Magigising ako, because may tumatawag sa name ko. Usually dito sa side na to, sa left, magigising ako. Tapos yung voice is like, nandun siya sa loob ng drum. Tapos parang may reverberation. Parang naka-microphone, ganong klase. Malapit, and yet, alam mo nanggagaling somewhere. Hindi siya, parang nasa loob ng drum. Parang gano'n na malalim na drum. So, yun. That's also one of the signs na para sa akin ay to determine na sila ngayon. Okay. Gusto ko sabihin na dun sa mga dreams, ah, isa ko pang napansin ay ano, parang they look younger, but not younger by age. It's just that parang nawala yung stress sa mukha nila. For example, yun nga, yung mom ko, nung first siya nagpakita sa akin sa dream, eh, matanda pa rin siya kasi she died when she was like 70 plus years old. She's still old. I know that she's still old. She still has that gray hair, but there were less, parang less agony on the face. It was more relaxed. Okay, not necessarily smiling, but it's more relaxed, that kind. So they look younger. Unlike, in the NDEs, for example, the NDE, near-death experiencers, di ba, they would say na when they cross over, they would be met by familiar people like relatives or, friends, and they look young, like years younger. But in dream visits, in my experience, that's not the case. Okay? They just look younger because there's, the stress, wala na yung stress. I have this relative na she had terminal illness. Okay? Well, actually, she's a very close friend of ours. And she had terminal illness, and when she visited in that dream, and I know why she visited because she had a message for me. Okay, and it happened, you know, I had to convey the message to one of her children. But anyway, um, in that dream, aside from the detached stare, she also, looked younger. Siyempre, when you had terminal illness, di ba, it would show on the face, but in that dream, wala na siyang ganong, parang sign na naghirap siya sa kanyang sakit. That's why, they look younger. Okay? Another thing na napansin ko rin, no, na common doon sa mga dream visits, yung mga itsura nila, aside from they look younger, parang silang galing sa jogging, na parang yung galing sila sa pagpapawis, parang ganon. I think ang symbolism nun is because parang, syempre, ang death is like being birthed into another dimension or another world, so to speak. So, para silang pinanganak ulit. Di ba yung mga babies kapag inilalabas, parang pawis-pawis. Parang ganun din sila. So, yun yung interpretation ko doon. Kasi parang nag-crossover na sila. So, ganun yung nakikita kong itsura nila, no? I'd like to add, my dad visited me for the first time, kasi siya rin he wasn't able to say goodbye to me because he died of aneurysm and he went into coma, and then he died. He was on life support and then he died. So, in that dream, well, he was talking with me, but it's not really directly looking at me, but we were, very near to each other. So there's no detached there. Why? Because it's just, it happened like within 2 weeks after he died, after he was buried. And in that dream, he was saying goodbye to me. May mga yung venue is very symbolic na may pupuntahan siya. But anyway, he looked younger without stress. That's what I meant by younger. And then, yung isang identifier doon is, meron siyang red spot dito sa, sa likod ng ulo niya. Because nga, he died of aneurysm. So, yun yung identifier na yun ay dream visit. Okay, so these things, in my opinion, um, they're just, you know, parang visual aid for you to identify them first and foremost, that it's really them, that they are visiting you, that their visitation is parang authentic, okay? Is parang it's your visual aid. It's your visual aid. It doesn't necessarily mean, as far as I'm concerned, it doesn't necessarily mean that they are still in the, in the physical form, but it's needed that they present themselves as that, the way that you know them. So I feel also that that is the reason why, contrary to near-death experience situations wherein the welcoming committee of of friends and family members who have died or sometimes much younger by years, is because in dream visitations naman kasi, feeling ko, parang kailangan mo silang ma-identify talaga na it's really them. Okay? So, they present themselves as how they are nung the last time sila makita. Okay? Yun nga lang, may mga identifiers pa. Parang na kailangang maipakita sa'yo to say na sila talaga yon. It's walang iniwan yan sa during mediumship sessions, na the medium gets, parang, not, they don't call it identifier, but something like that. I don't know how it's called, but accordingly, yung mga napapanood ko, yung nababasa ko, na yung medium, pinapakitaan daw ng spirit ng object na nagpapatunay na sila yon. Okay? At para din, to validate na dun sa um, kamag-anak na nagpapamedium, na ito nga ay spirit ng kanilang kamag-anak. So, that's why mayroong kailangang identifier. So, mahalaga yon, I think, to determine that these are dream visits, okay? Not random dreams. The reason why I wanted to share this with you is because may mga nababasa ako na mga nagpapatulong, nagtatanong sa iba na, for example, they dreamt of their relatives or deceased relatives. Tatanungin nila opinion ng usually sa mga Facebook groups. Tatanungin nila, what could that mean? I was visited by a dead relative, etc. And then the answer would be negative. They would be advised na the dream meant, for example, a foreboding misfortune or foreboding death. I mean, I feel that your relatives visit you or manifest in your dreams because it's a conveyance of comfort and consolation and encouragement. It's never, intended to make you worried, to make you paranoid or fearful of your life or during your waking hours. So that's why it's very important to discern if that dream is really a dream visit from your loved ones or just a random dream wherein the presence of your loved ones meant something else. Okay? But anyway, it's also equally important. Pero let's tackle that in our forthcoming video about how to interpret your own dreams. Thank you very much for watching and see you soon. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video. Plus, also, I have a related blog on this. So I'm going to put the link below in the description box. Thank you very much. Bye.